Hi guys, I hope you're all okay. These lives are definitely getting later. I do apologise for that. I went down to bed shortly after I put my last post up and I've slept for 6 hours today, so I must have needed it. But what I always say is better late than never, and also I needed to do it before 12 o'clock because technically it'll be about day 10 then. So we're on to day 9. So I'm just going to do that with you guys quickly. So again, the diary I'll be using will be this one. I've got my hat on because I have bedhead, so I need to get a shower. So let me just flick to my appropriate page and we'll get you guys started. I hope you all had a good day today so far. I certainly have. Sleeping. I actually had a course first thing this morning, improvement of mental health, so that was fun. And anything. Just gonna have to open this door here because the connection's a wee bit bad. So day 9, sorry, let me just get to my right page. So yeah, we've passed Boxing Day. Okay, so I'm now reading from day 9, so that was the 27th of December, okay, so the day after Boxing Day. Today was not as challenging as day 8, but getting iller and iller by the day, which is a shame, as as the Lapwing Lodge is just around the corner and I do want to enjoy it. So that was me coming down on my detox. And I now have a throat infection too, and I had to start and I had to sit in the meds queue at 8:55. Staff didn't arrive until nearly 20 past 9, which was the normal thing that nearly happened. Those newcomers were told that meds were always done at 9 o'clock every single night. It very, very rarely ever happened at 9 o'clock. You know, they expect us to turn up, but they never turned up themselves. Anyway, detox is happening whether I care to or even like to admit it. Down to 14 milligrams, so bear in mind I've only been in here a few days. I'm already down to 14 meg from 20. That's quite a big drop. And I went for the bank run today, which gave me some much needed fresh air because I literally hadn't been out from the first day it gets the ground. So you'll see that in maybe video 1 or 2. Let me see. So yeah, turn down the weekly walk around the path as detox is starting to hugely affect my everyday behaviours, including an increase in irritability, less concentration. These were all part of the detox plan and detox effects that I wasn't expecting. And to be honest, when it got towards the end, which you'll hear, it was completely debilitating. There'll be days I'd never even kept a diary. Honest to God, it was horrible. It was horrible for like 8 years of addiction, and this 6 weeks, you know, you just wished your life away. Then you just wished it would be over. I'm obviously still apprehensive regarding Lapwing Lodge. So remember I told you that's where the guys were taking us away. I think it's a whole uprooting everything again and the travelling, which I'm not looking forward to. And sometimes I often wonder where I got the strength from not to walk out the door. There's so much going on in the house right now. It's a toxic environment. Angie left after lifting her hand to another resident. I also signed and received my first NTQ due to holding back medication and notice to quit. So that was a breach of your tenancy within rehabilitation. I held back a 2 milligram Suboxone here. Sorry to show my teeth, guys, but I was telling you. Held back for medication. They check your mouth every night, and obviously I take that route back up to the room and sniff it. Now, this is the life of an addict. Honest to God, it's not a route you want to go down. All the deceiving, the conniving, you know, all the bad things that come along with that. It's a struggle, and the struggle is real. And the knowledge I'm having, or me knowing that I've been cut down on my meds each day, plus the physical, psychological impacts the reduction is having on my body. My body was breaking down completely. My head was starting to buzz, so it was completely every day going round and round, thinking of 101 million thoughts to think about, which you never really thought about before. You were sedated before in the past, being clean, and the drugs help with that. The drugs, I called it the opiate cloud, where the drugs helped you to maintain a balance where you didn't have to think of anything too much. When that 8 year addiction get lifted off me, my head went mental. That's the first thing that went, and then my emotions came out, and my anger was the first emotion to show up. So that was crazy. It's a Friday night, and all I want is my bed. I'm absolutely extremely worried for Angie. God only knows where she is right now, out in the streets using. That was her plan. I'd spoken to her before. The girl that she laid her hands on is one of my good friends. Elaine is now dead. She died not even a month after leaving rehab, because they did say to us all the time, it was drilled into us, look to your left, look to your right, one will relapse and one will die. And it is true so far since I've left rehab. I've been out of the country, but I've still been keeping in touch with people and hearing all news, and two of my close friends have died already, which is absolutely shocking. It is a battle, and it is a fight for our lives. I don't think people realise that. I don't think people realise they're fighting for their life. Because addiction, I never ever thought addiction would lead me down that road I went down. I was using drugs recreationally, not because I ever thought, oh, I'm going, years down the line, I was left totally debilitated. Totally debilitated. And the drugs crippled me so much so that I wasn't able to do like anything with that. Like I was that person on the outside looking in saying, oh, I'm never gonna inject, oh, I'm never gonna get that bad, oh, I'm never gonna die. They all happened to me. They all happened to me, and this is someone innocently using drugs. So if I encourage you, because don't let it get as far. I always say, don't learn from your own mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others that have went before you. There's no point in you making the same mistakes when you see physically what it's done to someone's life and where it's brought them. I mean, I was sleeping in car parks and homeless shelters, waking up, not even having a shower, sleeping on the streets, sleeping in pishy. Other side, when you're hooked and when you're obsessed, this I'm gonna finish off. I was so I had my first family group where I was late, so really missed the explanations of what the group was about and what we were going to discuss. Um, Kenny and someone else, I don't know that, Kenny and Billy and Gary took up the meeting, and each went at each after each other. Don't know if Kenny was serious, but he's backing off, and we need to realise we recover at the different speeds and in our own ways. It seemed to be very irritated, God knows why, perhaps due to Welcome House misusing the group, i.e. family and peer groups. I think he got a bit offended because we were talking about the wrong things within the group, but it wasn't fully explained to us what the group was for. We had a peer group that ran on a Wednesday night and a family group which ran on a Monday or Tuesday night, I believe. The family group was to discuss what was happening in your family that was impacting you from the inside, the rehabilitation centre, and the peer group was to speak not about other people in the house that were bullying you or gripes or things like that. The peer group was strictly about your living in the house. It was meant to be about you and you alone, but a lot of people used it to take up rants about other people because the house was so disorganised. I mean, the staff let it just go to the dogs. They really did. They let like 32 recovered addicts run a household. I don't even know how it got cleaned or how there was dinner on the table every night, I'll be honest. But there was. I don't know how we pulled it off half the times, I really don't. So after the group, I think I walked out of the group that night. The tolerance from him would go a long way, but he wasn't tolerated much at all at that point. And I know that he was a wee couple of days before me in his detox, and I think he was coming off methadone, which is even worse. Anyone that's on methadone, and hopefully it doesn't get that far for you, but methadone is a lifelong commitment. I would never go on it. Like, I would advise you never to go on it. If you have a choice to go on any substitute medication, go on Suboxone or Subutex it's called, because at least that way you've got greater chances of getting off the drug at the end. Whereas if you go into methadone, you just keep getting, you can use on top of methadone, you can't use on top of Suboxone. You've got a clearer head on top of Suboxone, whereas methadone you can use and you can buy it on the street, and you could probably even overdose on your methadone, and you're being prescribed methadone on a weekly basis as well. Doctors are very, very reluctant to prescribe it here in Northern Ireland. It's different in Scotland, but in Northern Ireland, don't generally try to give us that. So I went for Suboxone, so it'll be easier for me to get off in the end. I don't know. I need to heal and to do counselling and to sort out all the shit in my life that should have happened in the past but didn't. I ran from Belfast with a hell of a lot of issues, and I took it with me to Scotland, unbeknownst to me. You know, I was throwing myself into jobs, throwing myself into this, that and the other, courses. I had 4 jobs on at one point. And you know what? That was all to keep myself busy, and so that I didn't have enough time to think about the shit that had happened to me or didn't want to deal with it. So I think that's why there was so long a length of time of me addicted, because I didn't want to go to a counsellor. I didn't want to speak about it. It's only now that I've got clean and got serious about getting clean that I actually do want to turn my life around. So I was able then to get, you know, set up counselling arrangements and different things with counsellors to help talk about different things. So I'm going to end there. That was the end of the reading. I think that's just to show you that's what I've read tonight. And please continue to tune in. I do apologise for the lateness both last night and tonight. I did sleep for 6 hours, so what? I needed it. So I was absolutely exhausted after mentally trying to strain to take in a course, and then when I came home I was working on a different course. Yes guys, I've got 3 courses on the go. I'm going to be a fully qualified health, nutrition and mental health advocate come New Year. So I'm working hard. I'm trying to give back, and I'm trying to give back the right way. You know, I've been through such a lot, and I think my story could be the actual help for someone else's end, you know, and so that they wouldn't have to go through everything that I went through, because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. It's hard. But thank you very much for watching, guys. If you watch live, hashtag live. If you're watching on catch up, hashtag replay. I know I've seen some loves there. That's brilliant. Continue to support the videos like that. It gets the videos up on people's feeds. I'll say this again. It's not because I want to be popular. I want everyone to know my name. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It might have my name in the journal, but this page is about helping people. That's it. It's about getting the right information to those who need it most. You know, and 9 times out of 10, we haven't a clue who are in our network that are actually addicted or need help with a substance. And just by sharing a video or sharing the page, that could be the difference between someone's life and death. So I encourage you to share videos, share content, like the content, like the page, follow the page, and tune in for the nightly lives. For day 10.